Welcome back into another episode of Trickeration with Mr. Magic. Adam Munster Tiger, the publisher of BuffStampede.com on the 24/7 Sports Network, joined by CU legend Darian Hagan. Coach, we've heard about the story of how Nebraska tried to recruit you out there and what Coach Max said to you and your family to get you in Boulder.
Right.
Being from Los Angeles, I'm curious, though, was USC involved in your recruitment at all?
Yes, they were early on. The thing about me when I was getting recruited I got recruited by pretty much everybody in the country, but UCLA, USC, and I made it quite clear from the onset that I was not staying in California to go to college. So, they still tried to recruit me, but once I started giving them the Heisman stiff arm, they stopped. But they did try to.
Was that your mom's decision or your decision that you wanted to get out of Los Angeles for college?
It was kind of both of ours. My mom would always say, it's a big old world out there. You need to see some different things and experience some different things. And I agreed with her. And, I knew that, being in Southern California, I was going to be around the same people that I grew up with, the same people that I hung out with, still going to have the gang violence and all those things. And I wanted no part of that. I wanted to go to college and be a student athlete and have no interference.
How much of a homesickness period did you have to go through when you got out to Colorado?
I was homesick for about 6 months. And that was because, other than going on vacations to, we would drive every summer from Los Angeles to Kansas, spend time with our family in Kansas and Wichita. And then we would go to Oklahoma and in El Reno and spend time with family there and go back, drive back to LA. So other than that, that was the only time I ever, went away from home. And when I got here to Colorado, even though I knew a lot of the teammates and we were, I was cool with everybody, I was still homesick because, when you leave something that you're a part of on a daily basis, especially for 18 years, it's kind of hard to get it out of your system, and I was fourth string, for a little bit. And, I constantly, kept getting better, but I was at a point where I was talking to myself, like, why did I do that? Why did I leave California? And why did I, leave my family? And then my mom and my aunt told me, hey, you need to, you need to grow up, be a man. There's nothing to worry about. You get out of your system in a few. And they were right. Once football season started, in the spring, I went home for spring break and we had to leave again. And, I was homesick again. But at the same time, I was pretty much told that I was going to be the starting quarterback. So I knew right then and there that I couldn't be homesick anymore. It's time to grow up and be a man.
But now Colorado's your home, longtime home, so it all worked out.
It did.
Obviously, I'm asking you.
I came here with hair, and now I have none.
Well, likewise. Colorado has never beaten the Trojans on the football field, 0-16 all time, but you've been on the sidelines for some close matchups with the Trojans. You guys had a 31-21 lead against USC in 2019. Steven Montez was dealing it that day, and then he got hit out of bounds. For some reason, they didn't call it. It was one of the worst no calls I've had covering this program. Right. And he soldiered through. He came back in the game, but he just was not the same after that hit. And right. The USC comes storming back in that game. In 2016, the play that stands out to me is Bryce Bobo with the fake play where he throws the pass down to Philip Lindsay. You guys lose that game by just 4 points. And then the year before, in 2015, you guys are up 17-3 against USC when Sefo Lufau suffers the Liz Frank foot injury, and then the Trojans come back. Do you remember anything about any of those games? Did you ever feel like, okay, we're actually going to get one against USC in any of those games?
Absolutely. When Steven, they didn't get they didn't call the out of bounds hit on him. I thought that when he came back, he was a little gun shy. You know, and for a quarterback, when that happens, you pretty much, you're going to be, ineffective, and that's exactly what happened. But every time we play USC, I have a chip on my shoulder because I'm from California, and the fact that we have never beaten USC is an added, chip, and to be in close games in the games that you mentioned and not be able to pull them out, those were downers. Those were, ones where that you like non-belief because we should have won those games, and USC has great players, they have great coaches, but those games that you just mentioned, we had our shots and we didn't take advantage of it.
Obviously, 42-6 wasn't the result the current Buffaloes wanted coming out of Eugene, but they're still 3-1. What have been kind of your overall impressions through 4 games of the Coach Prime era?
I think they're well coached. They play hard. They fly around. They fight to the end. First 3 games, first game TCU was a thriller. It was a game that no one expected them to win, and for them to keep fighting back and just showing grit and to pull that game out, that was awesome. And then the way we handily put it on Nebraska, that was a game that I didn't think that we would beat them that bad, but we did. And to beat your rival that bad at home, that's in shockwaves throughout the country. And then to come back and play your other rival and go down to the wire and show grit again and pull it out to start the season 3-0 when you won 1 game the year before, that was unbelievable. It was awesome, great feeling as a former alum, former player here. And then last week, we go down and we lose 42-6. That one right there, that one was a little gut wrenching. I thought that it looked like they kind of knew what the heck we were doing. They knew when to blitz and when to what gap to hit and things like that. But I also thought that when you don't have a solid running game that you can lean on, and you're forced to pass a lot, then defense is gonna pin their ears back and they're gonna hunt, and that's what they did.
How much pressure do you feel as a coach on a week like this after a loss like that? Is it sometimes overwhelming, or do you compartmentalize enough as a coach to kind of block out some of that outside noise?
Yeah, I think you can block out that noise. You block out that noise because now, you look at it like from this standpoint, or the week by week, basis, that you always got to bring your A game. And that's what you tell you guys. Hey, we didn't play up to expectations, the last game, but this game here, we play up to expectations, we have a chance. We keep fighting to the end and, play mistake-free football. Yeah, I think, we'll have a chance. And then you just get out there and it becomes football again. And you take all the pressure off you by just, dealing with your players in a way about, just like life. It's a game. It's a game we love. It's a game we play. But at the same time, you can't let one game ruin the rest, a good thing. So you take one game at a time, and that's how you live it.
We have amazing brains and instincts, but sometimes it's a situation where I would feel as a coach, you're coaching X's and O's, but after a loss like that, you're kind of coaching the human condition a little bit too, right? In the sense that maybe leading up to that Oregon game, you never felt that any of this love was like being absorbed by the players, but now you have a loss like that. You can probably focus more on the X's and O's after a loss like that, right? And get more buy-in just because guys don't want to have that feeling again.
Absolutely. I think that that's a double-sided coin because on the flip side, because when you're winning, everything's good and everything is working, and you believe in every concept and you believe in the process. And then when you lose, then you kind of like doubt yourself or doubt the process. And then you go into that next game, if you're not really bought in, and it's me and my brother mentality, then it can lead to another loss. And then once you get back-to-back losses, then you start pointing fingers. And I'm hoping that that doesn't happen, because we have a good team. We have some great guys, and I want to see those guys do well. And I tell you this, I'll be here at 7:00 on Saturday, getting ready to root my tail off.
As you get older, Darian, I don't know. Do you enjoy these early kickoffs more? I've grown to love them. I wouldn't have liked them though when I was 20 years old. I love the thought of waking up early, grabbing a breakfast burrito, and let's go watch some football. Let's cover some football. How do you feel about these 10 a.m. kickoffs?
Well, when I was in school here, and that was a long time ago, when I was in school here, all our games were early. And so I got kind of used to it. So when we start having games, late at night and, midday, that kind of take away your Saturday, because you think about it, as a college kid, you still want to go and have a weekend. So you get that Saturday, early, and then you can still go hang out with your friends. You can go party, hang out with your girlfriend, do whatever you want to do, because you still got the rest of the day. But as I got older, I get up early every day anyway to get to work. So a 10 o'clock game is nothing new to me, because it's already what we do on a daily basis anyway. So same way. I like to get the game out of the way and be able to sit back and watch TV, watch more games, and just relax. That's what I like about it.
Caleb Williams already owns a Heisman Trophy. He's amongst the most savvy quarterbacks I've ever covered. Does he remind you of any quarterbacks, or is he kind of a unique type of quarterback?
When he's running around in the pocket and scrambling and looking downfield, I kind of like get envy of him, because that's what I used to do. I used to run around the pocket, make guys miss, and throw the ball downfield. Not as accurate as him, but I would attempt to do the same thing. But he's a tremendous athlete, and he reminds me of a little bit of myself, and probably I would say a bigger arm and more accurate than Vince Young as well.
Who are the best quarterbacks you went against during your playing career that really stand out when you think about quarterback play and think about your time on the turf?
I would say I would have two that come to my mind right away, and both of those guys played a long time in the NFL. It'd be Jeff George from Illinois and Mark Brunell from the University of Washington. I thought both of them were really, really good football players and really competitive. I played against Mark on the same team actually in high school in an all-star game. So we had me, Mark Brunell, Ty Marinovich, and I forget the other guy's name, but he wound up going to UCLA. So we had four quarterbacks, and I hurt my knee in warmups. I tripped on a sprinkler head that popped up.
Oh goodness!
And, yeah, and Ty Marinovich, he played, and I forget the other guy's name. Jimmy Bond, it was the name. And so those two wound up playing the majority of the game. And Mark Brunell, he couldn't get on the field because those other guys were rated higher than him. They so they got all the playing time. So Mark wound up being an all-star punter that game. So, but I would say Jeff George and Mark Brunell for sure.
What are your plans on Saturday for the big USC game?
Well, I plan on getting here, 7:00. Like I said, getting here 7:00 in the morning. Going to the Alumni Sea Club tent hanging out with some of the alums, welcoming guys back that I coached. It's a lot of guys going to be here, so I welcome those guys back. And then I'll go to my seats, watch Rafi run, and then I'll go up to the president's box, shake some hands, kiss some babies, and then go into the Alumni C Club box and watch the rest of the game.
There's no win on the schedule that would be sweeter than if it happened Saturday, right?
Absolutely. If we can beat USC for the first time, and wind up with the same record, 4-1, those guys be 4-1. That'd be awesome. And it'd be a chance for us to ruin his Heisman campaign, be a chance to let Brendan Rice understand that he never should have left when he's running around out there on Saturday. But if we can beat those guys, that'd be a nice feather for Coach Brown putting his hat.
Awesome. Coach Hagan, I always appreciate you for taking the time out to join us. It was good to reminisce about a few things. I'm glad we kind of got the backstory of why you didn't end up at USC, and we're all fortunate that you and your mother had plans for you to leave the state for college, because we love having you here. Thanks again.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Adam.
And thanks everybody out there for tuning in.